Rapid 2019, and today I have Brad Rothenberg with nTopology with me. So Brad, would you love to tell me how you guys got started, when you got started, and what area of additive you're in, and what you're doing, what you were doing, what you just released at Rapid, and what the future looks like. So a lot of things.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions,
right,
but just take it away.
Yeah, so we got started in 2013, end of 2013 originally. We released the first version of our software, which was specifically around generating lightweight lattice structures for 3D printing. And we were looking at, what are the problems in the mechanical design space right now that 3D printing allows you to solve. So things like lightweight structures, complex structures, etc. And so you have all these machines in the market now that have all these new capabilities, but the design tools and engineering tools that our customers are using to try and model these parts can't really take advantage of the new capabilities because they were built for drawing and drafting. Mm-hmm. And so we're here at Rapid. We just launched our latest product, nTopology platform, which is amazing because it uses a new way of representing the geometry to really tie together the physics, the design, and the manufacturing.
Right.
And
yeah, that's amazing. So one of the big gaps in additive is that design for additive manufacturing. We know it's there now, and we know what we need to do, but it's been hard to get our minds around it. And your new software, I was over at your booth, and how easily it is to transform more of a solid part into this lightweight with lattice structures or internal chambers, it's fascinating. So if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the software is called nTopology platform is really a platform for engineering where you're producing a workflow to engineer a part. So it's not just a black box where you're turning dials and you get a part out, but you're really designing a workflow. So like this Cobra Aero engine, right? There's a workflow. So Cobra Aero is like, okay, we have a engine block. We want to produce it in aluminum, 3D print it. And now that it's 3D printing, there's no reason for it to be a solid block. It was a cast block originally with some fin cooling. There's no reason for it to be, a solid block. And so let's hollow it out. And so then they're like, okay, now that it's hollow, why don't we make the whole block a heat exchanger? So we could use the air from the propeller. So it's an engine for a UAS, unmanned air system. And so they use the air from the propeller to actually flow through here and cool the engine. And so it's like a giant heat exchanger now.
Wow.
The engine's lighter, more performative, and more cooling.
Oh my God.
Enabled by AM, and really what we're seeing now in the industry, right, is to really take advantage of additive manufacturing, the design tools need to be more evolved. And they need to allow engineers to innovate faster, produce parts faster, and that's what we're doing in nTopology.
That's amazing. So how easy is it for someone to go into your software and create those lattice structures?
So super, super easy, right?
So compare it to if I were to go into a CAD software and try and make these lattice structures one by one by one and do that versus yours.
Yeah, so the difference is if you're in a traditional CAD environment, you're going to have to model and draw each of these little elements. In nTop, these are defined by an equation.
Okay.
And so you can just say, okay, I want this to be a certain lattice that fits this edge and flows to this edge. Or I want it to fill this space, or I want it to have these holes in it, or I want it to vary in this way. And so because it's workflow based, once that workflow is built, which is now built for here, any engineer could go in there and put any engine block in and just run it through the same process. It'll shell it, hollow it, add the structure that's conformal to the inlet and the outlet. Maybe you can have multiple domains, so maybe you have some fluid cooling in there also if you wanted. So there's all sorts of requirements you can bake into the model.
That's amazing. That's
Thanks.
so cool. So where do you see nTopology the next 5-10 years?
Well, I think the next 5 to 10 years are by far going to be the most exciting years in the industry because you're seeing more production parts getting produced. You're seeing parts going to high volume production. And you're going to see new manufacturing technology that produces even new capabilities, things like multi-material, things like really tuned structures, tuned for vibration, tuned for acoustics, really, really specifically generated structures that are very performative. So I think it's going to be the most exciting 5 years for us.
I'm super excited and I can't wait. And
thanks.
And thank you guys for coming and chatting with us. Thank you, Brad.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.